Pay the tariffs.
You are now living the consequences of your actions. So, thoughts and tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
All right, I hate asking for help. I'm not asking for any handouts, but I'm a small business owner that is directly being affected by the 104% tariff that has been put on China. I import alloy wheels for cars, and I do somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 containers a year, which is a small business in regards to this industry. At 104%, I am absolutely going to implode and will not last 6 months. So with that said, I'm asking, is there anybody out there that has connections with manufacturing facilities, specifically alloy wheels, either in the United States or outside in these lesser tariffed countries like Mexico, Indonesia, Thailand, India? I need to find another source. I've emailed a lot of these companies and cannot get a response. And I just don't know if it's because I'm a small business or what exactly it is. So if anybody's out there that can help or shed some light, maybe provide some information that would be helpful, I would really greatly appreciate it, because if not, it's just a small business here that's going to go under, and I'll be back to digging ditches again, which I'm not scared to do, but it's a little harder to do with a wife, 2 kids, and at 45 years old. So let me know if you guys have any suggestions. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. I love this for you. I love this. Nice. I love this for you. I love to see you fail. I love to see your family be affected and hurt because you voted for Trump. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Absolutely. Did I know he was going to increase the tariffs? Yes, I did. However, I thought that the infrastructure would be set up prior for small business to come back to America and manufacture in America. So to wish ill on someone and to love the fact that they're suffering, to love the fact that their family is being negatively affected because I didn't vote the same way that you did, is fucked up. It really is. It shouldn't matter. Anyone that enters my life, I'm going to judge you of who you are, how you are as a human being. Are you kind? Are you polite? Are you sincere? That's how I judge you, not who you voted for. I've got far left-leaning friends. I got far right-leaning friends. It doesn't matter to me. I like you based on who you are. But to see someone hurt and their business fail and their family be affected because they didn't vote the way you did, it's fucked up. I'm sorry, a lot of you are fucked up. I'm sorry. We should all care about each other regardless of who we voted for. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can be better people. Good luck to you guys. Because if not, it's just a small business here that's going to go under, and
have the day you voted for. Happiness at the misfortune of others. In this case, it is especially sweet because you brought this on yourself. You voted against your own interests. You knew exactly what was coming and you voted for it anyway because you thought you were the exception. Turns out you're not the exception. Donald Trump doesn't care about you, never did. And maybe you'll learn your lesson, but I don't think so based on this video here and the video following it. So I'm just going to revel in your pain. I'm going to enjoy every second of this schadenfreude. Thoughts and prayers. Good luck digging ditches. Have fun with that ratio on your videos. Have a great day.
Hey y'all, he said he was going to have to go back to digging ditches, but he don't know how he's going to do that because he's got a wife and kids now. It's almost like those immigrants that were digging those ditches that he wanted to get sent home could have handled all that and still been working for him and helping him out, but you know, he fucked around and found out. Way to go. It's almost like, you know, votes have consequences. You are now living the consequences of your actions. So, thoughts and tariffs. Have the day you deserve now.
But I thought this is what you wanted. I thought this is what you wanted. I thought you wanted the tariffs. I thought you wanted to bring production back to the United States. Well, that's going to take time and money and effort. That doesn't happen overnight. So you're just going to have to deal with this for a couple years, maybe? A year minimum? You're just going to have to deal with that, and that's how the business is going to work. But you voted for this, dude. You wanted this, and you got what you wanted, and you're not happy. And I'm sorry you're not happy, but I guess that's just how it's going to work. Good luck. Or until Trump decides like 2 days later to get rid of these tariffs again, or to change them, or to make them worse. Yeah, it's kind of scary not knowing what comes next, right? Welcome to the rest of the world, fucker.
No. You voted for this. You are now entering and experiencing what is called, well, what's abbreviated is FAFO, which stands for fuck around and find out. You fucked around by voting for Trump, and now you're finding out what those consequences are. No. You don't get help. You wanted this. You voted for this. Why would you need help? Right? I mean, Trump's gonna fix the economy.
Honey, two things. Number one, we told you so. We told you this was going to happen. And number two, he doesn't care. Trump does not care about you at all. It is all about him. How does it feel to be forgotten?
You made your bed, now lay in it. I'm not sure, like, what makes you think that you can get on here and ask for advice, ask for sympathy or empathy. Like, you deserve it. Your business failed because the person that you voted for. Millions of us are losing hours at our job. Millions of us have already lost our job. Millions of us are on the verge of losing our home. But yet, you didn't care when you went and voted for that fucking man. And now what is it, 2 months later, you want to get you want to get on TikTok because your business is failing because of your consequences. That is all it is. Your decisions led to your consequences, and now your fucking business is failing. You don't get to come on here and ask for sympathy, ask for empathy, and pretend that you didn't fuck up the whole world. You deserve it, and I hope your business continues to fail. You made your bed, lay.
I'm voting for the man that's going to take America back, baby. Donald J. Trump, man.
What's one of your biggest issues?
It's probably going to be inflation, because I sell T-shirts and all that stuff.
Your T-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the thing Trump's talking about. If we tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
China doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
What did Jesus do for you?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Like if I'm buying 1,000 shirts from China and there's a tariff on it, I'm paying. China's not Jolly. So I'm trying to explain.
Who pays the tariff? They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? Do you believe that?
I was trying to say, because I sell merch as well.
I sell you something for $10, right? You're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it to him for $20?
Am I going to sell it to him for $20?
If I raise the price $5?
Oh, it's going to have to go up.
Right. So
yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
Isn't that special? You can make the argument that, yes, they are that stupid. You can make that argument because, yes, they're that stupid. But the distinction I have to draw is that on these kinds of issues, this guy can add 10 and 5. He can subtract 10 from 20. But he doesn't know because he doesn't fucking want to know. And what's more, after finding out, even in that moment, after finally having a grain of understanding of the truth, he's still going to go vote for Donald Trump. So don't tell me it's about inflation. Don't tell me it's about the economy. It's racism, it's xenophobia, it's fascism. Period.
Who pays the tariffs?
The Chinese government pays the tariff.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I'm an importer and an exporter for 20 years. When a product comes into the US, there's something called a tariff sheet.
Okay.
I, as the buyer of that product, follow US law and pay the tariff. I'm an American citizen, I'm an American taxpayer. I pay that tariff to the US government, and that increase in the cost I then sell to you for a higher price because I've got to cover that tariff.
Then what about,
there is
then
no,
what do you say our tariffs are higher when they go overseas as opposed to theirs coming here?
Tariffs are never a zero-sum game. Tariffs are a tool. For example, you might say, you want to sell us your beans.
Yeah.
We are going to give you a low tariff if you buy our corn. But the cost of the tariff is ultimately always borne by the consumer.
Don't you think at the end of the day there may be more competition within the market of the U.S. government?
And you're confusing the question. This is not a question of competition. The point we're discussing is who bears the cost of the tariff.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you if it's good policy for the U.S. government to tax beans and for the Chinese government to tariff corn. But what I can absolutely assure you is that a product that comes into the U.S. is paid for by a U.S. company, and the increased cost of that is borne by all of us.
I'm seeing more and more people online saying, well, I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote to lose my job, and I didn't vote for a global trade war, and I didn't vote for Elon Musk to run amok in the government, slashing agencies and cutting jobs, and I didn't vote to see America's allies cast aside. Oh, what the f*** are you talking about? Of course you voted for that. You were perfectly happy to see all that happen as long as it didn't happen to you. And now that the leopard is eating your face, suddenly you've changed your tune. Well, you get no sympathy from me. You voted for that. You wanted that. So you sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I don't care what happens to you. I just want you to feel the pain that you brought on yourself, because that is the only way you can learn.
What do you feel about Trump running for the third term?
Definitely.
Definitely not?
Somebody needs to assassinate.
Bro, what the f***? What the... Bro!
I'm gonna ask y'all this question again. When are y'all gonna admit that he has no idea what the f*** he's doing? Trump tariffs wipes out 3.1 trillion from the... in one day? Not million, not billion, trillion in one day.
Include the fact that Donald Trump's plans for the economy would accelerate inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
Increase inflation, and by the middle of next year would invite a recession.
Increase inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
What kind of sick tariffs? Penguins. You gotta be a dirty fucker. You gotta be a dirty fucker to tariff penguins. You sick motherfucker. You sick.
Something pretty wild is happening in the MAGA base right now. And honestly, it's the kind of twist you couldn't script better if Netflix handed it to Shonda Rhimes.
Now everything's more expensive! Oh, I can't afford groceries! You can afford groceries! You couldn't afford rent! Your landlord raised your rent, so you elected a fucking landlord to be president! Who has dementia! Who's insane! Who paid people to write his college papers! He doesn't even know what a tariff is! He thinks tariff is a stripper!
Remember when Donald Trump promised that prices would magically drop the second he strutted back into the Oval Office? Yeah, turns out that day one discount never showed up. No rollback, no rollback aisle, just vibes, and unfortunately, a growing mountain of receipts. Fast forward 3 months into Trump's second term, and guess who's getting absolutely sucker punched by the cost of living?
Everything just became more expensive! Oh my god! Oh! Now they're gonna bring back manufactured jobs! You don't want to work in a manufacturing warehouse! Are you kidding me?
The very folks who cheered the loudest at his rallies, red hats and all. Turns out their economic savior might have walked them straight into a financial minefield.
Honestly, in the long term, I do think it's good for us. A little short-term pain for some long-term gain. 5-10 years from now, hopefully it will be bring more manufacturing here. But we're going to have to go through this painful period. I do think it was part of the plan. He's not stupid, right? Like, he knows what he's doing. He's gotten to this point. I think it was part of his plan. To the degree that it has been so volatile, I don't think that was necessarily part of it, or the 90-day pause this close to him announcing the tariffs. I don't know if that was part of it, but I do think, he's not stupid. I think he's got a plan to it all.
I think it's part of the plan. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He is a businessman at the end of the day, so I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I thought this is exactly what was supposed to happen. Like, the stock markets were going to crash and then they're going to go up again. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about it. I think a lot of people didn't respect Biden, so hopefully Trump is laying down the law a little bit harder so that those other countries respect him more and respect the United States, because feel like we have been getting screwed over by a lot of countries for a long time. So
I think everybody has an opinion. They're entitled to it. But I think the United States needed some change because the economy really has struggled over the last few years. I mean, I know personally, just going shopping, you know, my bill has increased probably at least 50%. I think he's very strategic in a lot of what he does. Not popular opinion necessarily, but I think it's the strategy behind it. And, you know, I have to, you know, as an American, I've always typically trusted the presidents. And, you know, he's not super powerful by himself. He's got a lot of support behind him. So I think his strategy, yeah, I think he's pretty clever. He's a smart businessman. I think he's got a plan bigger than what people see it as.
You saw the video where a Trump supporter shares how his business is suffering due to the tariffs that have been implemented. Now, personally, I do hate to see people suffering like this, while at the same time, it does have me questioning the people that voted for Donald Trump. Now, we also listened to how many of this man's viewers on TikTok responded, and we could hear and see that the people were not empathetic, were not understanding, because to their point, he is paying for what he decided to vote for. We also followed up with videos where we saw that many voted for Donald Trump without understanding the consequences, while others fully understood and either thought that the changes would not directly impact them or simply did not care and wanted to see what would happen. Now, what I think is that, you know, there are definitely people that voted for Donald Trump. All of those people are not stupid. I just don't think we can just say that. And I don't think that all of the people that voted for him had no idea what would happen. But this does show a bigger issue that we have in the United States. And this type of thing happens when people are polarized to the point where they will not hear anything from a view other than their own. You watch and read news sources that only align to your own views. You don't seek out information for yourself. This is what happens when people blindly listen to a particular leader, whether that's a political leader, whether it's Democratic or Republican, whether it's a business leader like Elon Musk, or even a religious leader. And y'all know I've made commentary on that. People have to begin questioning their media sources, history, looking at trends, and thinking about how their own choices will affect themselves and others. And I do believe that many knew that other people would suffer, but thought that they themselves and their own families would be fine. Lastly, I do think there's a bit of delusion in this country. Because you own 1,000 shares of stock in a company, or maybe you own a small business, this does not make you wealthy or even on track to be a part of the wealthy that truly benefits from a lot of these policies. Now, I am not producing this video to say that tariffs are always bad from my personal view. There are some benefits like reduced foreign competition. This can lead to job creation or at least job preservation, and can also make sure, as I mentioned in a prior video, that our domestic supply of certain goods and materials remains intact. However, this can lead to consumer prices jumping up, reduce global trade, and a lot of other issues. And so when these things are carried out, it has to be well thought through and strategically done. Now, let me know what you think about all of this. Are you empathetic to the Trump supporter that came out to ask for help due to the Trump administration's implementation of new tariffs? Do you think the tariffs are a good thing in the long run that you're willing to sacrifice for and see through? Or do you think this entire tariff situation was completely unnecessary and not beneficial to the American people at all? Let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to y'all later.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad, because, you know, he's in financials. I've always read